Now, in its 12th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. Live from Harlem in New York City, once again, I'm Alex, and this is The Ramble. The last time we talked with Larry Bubbles Brown, who was on the other side of this phone, you got a good phone, though. It doesn't sound like a phone. Anyway, we were talking about movies, and we left me with being asked by him what are the top 5 films I would list, okay? And I would have to say, why don't we talk about films that influenced my taste in films? And I would have to say the biggest one was Citizen Kane. I had a girlfriend in Sacramento, and we said, let's go to the movies. And there was this movie theater playing Citizen Kane. This was, I think in the late 50s, maybe? Late 50s. And they'd done a revival of Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane never did well the first time it ran. So they did a revival of it, and we went to see Citizen Kane. And it was the first time in my memory I can remember me saying, now I get it. You know, I get what films are about and what films can be and what they should be. And I just loved that film. I just said, this is the greatest film I've ever seen. Up until that time, what did I see? I went to Saturday matinees as a kid and saw stupid serials and westerns and crap like that. And movies never had an impact on me. But when I saw that, I went, wow. And that's when I became a fan of films, and when I started to go back to the old ones and look at the stuff, So I would have to say Citizen Kane certainly was there. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a film that was a favorite of mine. I don't know if I'd list it in my top 5. Sunset Boulevard is a great film.
That is a great film, yeah.
And it was just one of the best films I had ever seen. I mean, the performances were incredible. They got this old silent film star to be the star of it, and it worked. It just worked. It was a great film. And it was done by a guy, what's his name, who then went on to do Some Like It Hot, and a lot of comedies. But
Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder. He did Sunset Boulevard. Before that, he had done a thing called Double Indemnity. That's another great film with Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck.
I love that one.
Yeah, and that's a great film. If you see almost any Billy Wilder in the early years and then a little later on, they're terrific. I think if you were to ask me the top 5 directors I might be able to give you 5 top directors. Billy Wilder would be one of them, but another one would be, and everybody's going to go, who? Ernst Lubitsch. Ernst Lubitsch was a Jewish German comic who was very popular in Germany. But then things started to turn in Germany, and he came over here. He started making films that were amazing. And if you ever get to see an Ernst Lubitsch film, you'll know what I'm talking about. They talked about him having the Lubitsch touch, which they described as movie champagne, I mean, he was really good. He was really good. And there was a film, oh, God, I have a hard time remembering the names of films, so I have to always go over to IMDb and say, oh, here, put in Lubitsch, C-H. Oh, come on, I can't type anymore. C-H. Ernst Lubitsch, American director. Here we go. And then it's going to have all of the films he ever did. And where are they? I don't see them here. Where are all the films he did? Ernst Lubitsch movies list. Okay, I'll go here. Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. Ernst Lubitsch movies. Lady and Ermine, Clooney Brown. Oh, these were in later years. But he did To Be or Not to Be with Jack Benny.
Okay.
He did Shop Around the Corner, which was a great film that became, I can't remember what film, they did a remake of it. Ninotchka with Greta Garbo. What is it here? Broken Lullaby. Trouble in Paradise. That's the film I loved by him, you know. So Ernst Lubitsch would be another one on my list. Of course, Scorsese. You know, you can't beat Scorsese. He's a craftsman, you know. He really knows how to put a film together. Coppola's on that list, so I'm up to 4 already. And who's the other one? Now my brain's getting a fart.
I would say not George Lucas.
No, George Lucas was not a good director. He's a terrible director. You know what I often said about George Lucas? You know, the films, the Star Wars films, well, he did Star Wars, and it was a good film. And then he wouldn't do the others. And I kept saying to people, they said, isn't George Lucas a great director? I said, he's only done 3 films.
Yeah, he really quit at the...
You know, and you go to any of these other directors, they work for like Corman and made several crappy films. Like Scorsese did a film for Corman, and they learned lessons out of making crappy films. But then all of a sudden you say, you know, oh, isn't he great? Well, no, Lucas only did 3. I said, Star Wars is not bad for a 3rd film, you know?
Yeah, but I wonder if maybe he didn't like directing. I don't know.
I don't think he liked directing. You know, directing, some people, even great directors, have often said that directing is the hardest part of making a film. The most fun is when you're editing it and making all the stuff you shot work. But up until then, that time, it's just, you know, it's like woodwork. You know, it's like you're a carpenter. And you're shooting this film, and it's not fun. So that's that story. But I liked. And then we mentioned Coppola, and then the next one we had to mention is, of course, Spielberg, who is a great craftsman. You know, I don't think he's I don't think of him as a great director. I think of him as a great craftsman. I don't
care for most of those films.
Well, no, I love the craft in those films. You know, I mean, you go back and look at any of his films; they are just spectacularly shot and edited. You know, I mean, and you don't get a much better film, believe it or not, than the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's a great film.
I like that one, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I liked it because it reminded me of all the Saturday morning serials I had watched as a kid.
Yeah.
So,
I remember my 4th film, and you'll love the director, Dr. Strangelove.
Kubrick. I'd put him on my list.
Yes.
Kubrick was... He was. These are all masters of using film that we're talking about here. And he was an incredible craftsman. I mean, he
probably insane.
I don't know if that's the case, but his films.
Well, when you make someone do 57 takes, I don't know.
Well, he did that. It took him a year and a half or something like that to shoot that film with Tom Cruise and his then wife.
Eyes Wide Shut, which it took almost 3 years. There's a book about that, and people quit. They had nervous breakdowns. It was so horrible to work on that.
Well, you know, there are certain people like Kubrick who felt the more you worked the scene, the better it got. Actually, the fact is that I often found when I was doing some kind of directing at something, that if you work people too much, what they'll come back to is that original take that you did that you didn't like. And then that's the one you accept. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you do it so many times you just come right back to where you started. So a director who learned not to do too many takes was Spielberg. He was that way. He was that way on Jaws, and then nobody wanted to hire him because his films came in over budget, and so finally he was having a hard time getting work, and George Lucas handed him Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he said, I'll let you do it on one condition. What? You do it as fast as possible. And so he did everything there in maybe the first take, maybe the second. That was it. Then on to the next take. And that was a great film. That I often point to Raiders of the Lost Ark as a perfect film. There's nothing about that film you can look at and say, he shot that wrong, or he edited that wrong. Everything works. We're talking about movies here with Larry Bubbles Brown.
Yeah, it's too bad the greatest podcast about movies would have been if you could have done one with Mort Saul, because you two are the most knowledgeable people about movies I've ever met.
I never met up with Mort Saul, believe it or not. That's one of the people I never met up with.
That's surprising.
And I wish I had,
Yeah.
I hear at a certain point, like when I was doing radio in San Francisco, that he was kind of difficult.
He was a little cranky, yeah.
He was a little cranky. As he got older, he got less cranky, I think. You knew him later on, right? Now, explain who Mort Saul was, because we got people out there going, oh, Mort Saul, another reference I don't understand.
He was a popular political satirist in the 50s, and he worked on John Kennedy's campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when Kennedy got elected...
he was a political comic who would come out on stage at the Hungry Eye with a newspaper in his hand, and he would literally be doing jokes about the news that happened that day.
Right.
And he was really if you talk about comics from the 50s, you talk about Mort Saul, you talk about Lenny Bruce, you talk about Shelley Berman. Who else was there back there?
Jonathan
Winters. But there was one other I was thinking of. I said Lenny Bruce. Mort Saul. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. Hey, whatever he did with women, forget it for a second. He was funny. He was good.
And they all broke the mold of just old jokes.
Yeah, they weren't the standard "Take My Wife, Please" comics. And it was they were very good comics. There was a place called the Purple Onion, another place called the Hungry Eye, and these were two clubs where these people developed. The Smothers Brothers developed there.
Yeah.
A little bit later than those guys, but I mean, what they developed was a new kind of comedy that had never been done before, and that's wonderful, just wonderful. Who was your favorite of the bunch? Did you listen to those guys?
As a kid, I used to listen to Jonathan Winters' albums, and I memorized them, and that's kind of the comic I wanted to be, but I never became that, unfortunately. But it was more like he was more like Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is more like Jonathan Winters. I mean,
yeah.
There was what Jonathan Winters did. Robin said, "I'm going to do that too," and it was just stuff off the top of your head.
Just crazy stuff all the top of brilliant stuff. And he was Jonathan was mentally ill. I think he was hospitalized in San Francisco.
Yeah, he was found directing traffic on Columbus Avenue in San Francisco naked.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, comedy can drive you crazy. You know? Because you're expected to go out every night and be this character. In the case of Jonathan Winters, you had to have this really screwed up mind to come up with that stuff.
Oh, my God.
And Robin was the same way. And Robin committed suicide.
Yes.
Jonathan Winters didn't commit suicide, did he? No, he just died. But Robin, I mean, well, he got sick, but he had something, Lewy body, what was it called?
Lewy body dementia. Yeah.
Lewy body dementia, which is the same thing that eventually killed Ted Turner. And yet, you look at Ted Turner going through that same disease, and it wasn't so bad that he would want to commit suicide. So I think there are other things going on with Robin besides the disease that caused it, I mean, he was crazy. All his life he was crazy. But then, what do? We put our craziness on display. That's the job. I mean,
it's just amazing that maybe they have something physical. Just that insane energy that Robin had was amazing to me.
That he could use that much energy on comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. Who was it we were talking about had energy? I was watching something. Oh, yeah. They were talking. There's a great documentary, if you get to see it. It's on Netflix, which you don't get.
No.
But it's a documentary about Martin Short, who I've somewhat appreciated, but not really. And after this documentary, I appreciated completely, what he's gone through and so on and so forth. And where was I going with that? What it had to do with...
about his energy?
About his energy, yeah. People said they'd never seen him, a person with that much energy on stage. That when he gets on stage, he commits everything to his comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Robin was that way.
Yeah.
And it was really nice, too. It was great, I found him to be, I found Robin to be really terrific. And I thought Martin Short, I've come to appreciate, So.
Yeah, Short does some things that are hilarious, that Jiminy Glick.
Yeah. But, I mean, his stuff is inventive. His stuff is, he talked about it. He said, I just take a chance, He said, I take a chance, and that's it. And if you don't take a chance, you're not going to be funny. So he's gone with a lot of things. But Marjorie didn't like him at all. And then after watching the documentary, is a big fan. Because sometimes these documentaries, when they are put together and you see the history of his work, you begin to see how good it has been. And the thing was directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who's a friend of Martin Short's. So it was very good, very good. I enjoy good documentaries like that. That after it's over, I go, I really don't like that guy, but now I like everything he does.
He was part of that great his SCTV. There was so many funny people came out of that.
Yeah. What people actually, let me ask you, early on made you laugh? I mean, did those people, I'm sure at SCTV, made you laugh?
Oh, yeah. John Candy, who was like good in everything he did.
I've never asked you this, but I should have asked you this, and so now I will ask you this. What influenced your comedy? What comedians influenced your comedy? In other words, if you could, I can say when I'm doing radio or I'm doing a podcast or whatever, who my heroes were and who I kind of stole from.
Okay, well, it's interesting you asked that because I just realized this about myself not that long ago, that that person that influenced me was Jerry Lewis. And because he always, remember, he kind of played the bumbling loser who would kind of get the girl at the end, and that's what I think my comedy was, to play a bumbling loser and hopefully attract a woman.
It's interesting because if you had asked me where you might have gotten your sense of humor from, or your, we all, I often said we all steal from certain people that influenced us as we were growing up, and then what we are is an amalgam of all of them, which makes us a separate entity. But I wouldn't have said Jerry Lewis for you,
Yeah,
because
but he was kind of the loser, right? He always played the loser.
Always played the loser, yeah. And since you're a real loser,
Yeah, I'm a real loser, so I just ran with it.
Yeah. Well, no, that's your act is about a loser, basically.
Yeah. Although from what I hate, from what I read, it sounds, and Mort told me this. He said Jerry Lewis was a horrible person.
Oh, he's a terrible human being. Come on. You know, he was the worst. The only thing I got out of Jerry Lewis was I learned how to say the names of some prescription medicines. You know.
What was he on, Perkins?
Well, the one I'm now taking every night is pregabalin. You know, every medicine that I take, I can do a Jerry Lewis impression. I'm trying to remember what was the one that I started out with, but anyway. Yeah. I like cereals with riboflavin.
Right. So you never interviewed Jerry Lewis?
No. I tell the story about the fact that, you know, he did the muscular dystrophy show every year. And somebody asked me on the radio at the time what I thought about Jerry Lewis. And I said, well, really, I don't feel he has much talent, but I see what people see in him. And what he does for muscular dystrophy is outstanding, you know. But I said, as a comedian, I don't think he's very good. Well, the station had a problem because about a few years earlier, maybe a few months earlier, they had been sued by somebody because they didn't give them equal time. And in those days, if you wanted to offer somebody equal time, you had to write them a letter and tell them, hey, you know, so-and-so said this about you on our station, and we're offering you equal time. So they sent a letter to Jerry Lewis saying, Alex Bennett said this about you, and you have a right to respond. Well, he never responded. Most people never did. Mm-hmm. I'm watching the muscular dystrophy telethon that year, and he gets to the point where he's going to sing You Never Walk Alone. And he said, I'm not going to You'll Never Walk Alone. And I'm just saying to that disc jockey out there, I hope this is good enough for you.
Oh, wow.
And I stopped for a second. Everybody in the room turned around and looked at me. And I thought, yeah, that's the reason why he said that. He got the letter. You know, so I actually had You Never Walk Alone dedicated to me. Isn't that wonderful? I think it's the best. Anyway.
And that's such classic showbiz, that song he'd do at the end of 24 Hours when he's crying.
Yeah. You'll never walk alone. You know what I hated about it? You know, I'm giving a lot of my money in my will to St. Jude's Hospital because I like them. And why I like them is when they do their ads, they never show the kids as being pathetic. They show the parents who then break up and cry and so on and so forth, but they never take advantage of the kids who are sick. And I like that approach.
Yeah.
Because I hated Jerry Lewis when he would take some kid in a wheelchair, you know, spazzing out and so on. That's bad taste, I guess. But, you know, and then he would just use them. And I never liked that. I never liked that. Talk to the parents. Let the parents cry, you know?
Yeah.
But don't get the kid and then have him act like, oh, he's got a real problem there. And he only had muscular dystrophy. At St. Jude's, they got kids with cancer, you know?
You're right.
So I just don't think you should take care of kids. Oh, by the way, just before we go, out in California, you're very lucky. You know what they made illegal? That commercial, Cars for Kids.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
Yeah, they said they can't do that because the company is, I don't know if there's something about them that's illegitimate or whatever. And the
money wasn't going to where they said it was.
They banned it in California. Thank God you're not going to have to hear that song. You know?
It's so irritating.
What was John Oliver talking about? Those companies that have those one company has a horrible jingle, and they say that they're going to take your money that you've been given a structured settlement, and they'll pay you money for it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a whole thing on it. And the song they have, I have a structured settlement, and I want cash now. J.D. Wentworth, you know.
That's it,
yeah. He said, that song will never get out of your brain. And it's true. It never gets out of my brain. Hey, I looked, and we're just out of time now.
We have a structured program.
Good talking to you, Larry.
Yes.
And you're playing where in the next couple of weeks?
The Mountain Winery, June 14th, the Carvey and Spade.
Oh, good show. Good show.
Yeah.
See you next time.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Now, in its 12th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yeah, so let me turn my face on here. Here's my pretty little face. There we go, folks. How are you? This is Friday already. Wow, the end of the week. And we invite people to call our program, but it's a little... there we go. Old people, you know something? I wonder why old people always carried tissues. My mother always used to carry tissues. Old people carry tissues because their nose is always dripping. Oh, it's so wonderful to get old. My God, I love every single minute of it. Hi there, folks. Okay. Well, we'll admit the two people that are out there right now who want to talk to me. You know, I'm beginning to wonder why I even do the Ramble anymore. The show on Monday gets a lot of callers. And this thing, it's like I used to get, 15 people, and now it's down to nothing. And why? Because I don't think people care about this anymore. But prove me wrong, okay? All right? Let me let some people in here. Here they come, folks. There they are. There's Charlie, and there's Kevin, and there is Josh Wheeler. And we're ready to go. How's everything working for you tonight, Kevin? What?
Couldn't hear you. Now the sound doesn't work.
He worked all day on this, right? No? How about using? Well, I don't know. It's. Actually, what happens is the first 15 minutes of this show every night is tech support. Hi, Charlie. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
There's our favorite guy, right, on your chest?
Yep.
You know what Marcel Marceau said to me when he met me? He said, "You look like a young Albert Einstein."
I can see that now.
Can you see that?
Mustache. Yeah.
I didn't have the mustache then, I think. I don't believe I did. But anyway, that was the first thing he said when he walked in the studio. He said, "Boy, you look like a young Albert Einstein." And I went, well, I wish I were as smart as he is, But anyway. Hello, Josh. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Huh?
I said good, thank you.
Oh, okay. You sounded a little, I don't know, weird there, but you're okay. And here comes Alan. Alan is going to join us here any second now. There he is. Okay. Hello, Alan. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah? Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah. So anyway, what's new in the news? Nothing, right? Oh, wait a minute. There was a judge, a federal judge, who said that, number one, Donald Trump couldn't have his name on the Kennedy Center.
Oh, yeah.
He said he couldn't because it was named by Congress, and they're the only ones that have the right to change it. Okay? And the second decision, either he or another judge made, is that in the case of the 1 billion, what is it, 1 trillion. How much money did he have? 1,776,000? But it wasn't billion, it was trillion, I think.
No, it's
1 billion.
It's 1 billion. Yeah, it's 1 billion. Excuse me, it's 1 billion. Okay. 776, that he can't give that money to people. And especially if it's going to people who are cronies of his.
Yeah.
So this was not a good day for Donald Trump. Well, it never is. There are at least 5 different courts that say you can't do this and you can't do that. And I wish one of them would finally say, hey, we told you you couldn't build that ballroom until you got approval from, certain people, and you did anyway. So now that you have, we are saying you've got to pay out of your own pocket to get the East Wing rebuilt.
Yep.
Okay? And then you've got to go out and get the proper thing to do that to the White House. The White House is, I think, looked over by the Park Service, if I'm not mistaken. And they're the only ones that can say, hey, we're going to change this.
Yes.
We're going to let you build this. So this is going to be a good thing for you. But he keeps trying to give it, it's for national security. What, a ballroom? What? The tango is a national thing? Whatever? I don't know. So anyway, you got a look of disgust on your face, Josh. It's just, it gets worse every day, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just national security thing. I don't know who they think will buy that.
Well, apparently somebody bought it because he's still building the goddamn thing. And then he's building, I don't know, this, rink on the lawn of the White House, which obscures the White House. It looks like a giant arch. I almost think a lot of people are going to go to the White House thinking it's a McDonald's, And he's building that because they're holding a UFC match on the lawn of the White House. Boy, when I think sports, I think the White House, don't you? Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. But they built this huge arch. And he's got all these big, giant cranes and stuff putting it together. You can't see the White House now. I mean, it was getting to where you couldn't see it anyway because he put up too many flagpoles. I mean, what's he doing? He's ruining the White House.
Well, a friend of mine sent me a quote from some comedian. It says the White House is having half-naked men from the UFC fight on the front lawn of the White House on June 14th. What a great way to celebrate Pride Month.
Yes, right. And the other thing is that a lot of people they were going to have a 250th anniversary festival or something, and they're going to have all these musical stars, most of which are has-beens. I mean, if it's not like Bruce Springsteen and who else? The big ones. No. It's like Vanilla Ice, Milli Vanilli.
Half a Milli
Vanilli. And what's amazing about it is these are all people who are has-beens. I think, what's his name? His pal, Kid Rock said he isn't going to do it.
Nope.
So, I mean, and one guy who was on The Apprentice, I can't remember his name now, said he's not going to do it. Who's going to be doing it? They don't want to do it because they think it's a festivity for Trump, and they find that wrong. Marjorie was right about, Christmas time. She said to me, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Just wait, Trump is going to turn it into a festival for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, But anyway, they got to take his name off of the
Kennedy Center.
The Kennedy Center, which is fine with me. Why shouldn't they? I mean, he shouldn't have put it up there in the first place. But now they're going to have to chisel it off, and then they're going to have to paste, fill up the holes, and he should have to pay for that too. Come on.
Yep.
He's a trillionaire now that he's stolen all this money from the United States by making a profit off the presidency.
Yep.
Anyway, how you working? I know it's still not working. The mic still isn't working. Well, we'll stick with you. Don't worry. You know. Are you sure your microphone's plugged in, or that you've got it going right? Go to your. Are you using a computer with? Are you using a? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Are you using a computer with Zoom on it, or is it like? And you've got to put in where the mic is, what mic you're using, but you probably don't know what mic you're using, or you've got the wrong thing. I don't know. I don't know. Just talk to. I wish you were like Marley Maitland, and he could just use hand gestures to talk to us. You know. No, that's climbing a rope. That's mime. Okay. You know, mime is this. You know.
So what happened with the great that the war is over with? All the agreements are going to be signed this week, but yet one of our fighter planes sends a bomb yesterday or last night into an Iraqi oil tanker and sets it on fire and kills everybody.
Well, that's our peace president. He's the guy who got the FIFA Peace Prize, for crying out loud.
Right?
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess today they said they were almost close to something, but then they say they don't want to make a deal like he wants. You know.
Well, they don't want to give up their uranium.
They don't want to give up their uranium, but they keep saying we're not going to use it to build nuclear fissionable bombs and things like that, you know. And I believe them. I actually believe them. I think they don't want to be a target for somebody else because they've got something like they've already been a target here, you know. But when Obama signed the peace treaty with Iran, that was included that they weren't going to do with the fissionable material. They were going to get rid of it.
Well,
and then Trump became president, and he did away with those accords.
We were going to have world leaders under Obama go there and check to make sure that they're not making it.
Yeah, that's right. You know. Anyway, silly, isn't it?
It's a mess.
It's just a mess.
Just
every day it's a
mess.
Yeah. Every day it's another Trump mess. I mean, I wake up this morning, Trump. Why don't we just have a Trump channel? Wait a minute, we have Fox. That is a Trump channel. Okay. Wait a minute, we have Newsmax. That's a Trump channel.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. There's one other, isn't there? There's the other one that isn't on all the systems. That's nothing but that right-wing stuff. You know. So. We have those. None of this bothers you, does it, Josh?
Well, I would say it all bothers me. I mean, I'm not happy with what's going on. I'm not happy with who the president is, but I mean, overall, I'm just not happy because of the general tone of the two parties basically just dragging our political system down over, you know, because the two parties control everything. I mean, and, you know, I have a lot of issues with Democrats. I certainly don't think they do nearly as much of nefarious activity or, you know, outright hypocritical action as Republicans do, but I also don't think they're immune, you know, so, I mean, sure, I'm bothered by it. I'd like to have a return to some, you know, normal political activity where people have their partisan agendas, which, you know, is fine. The two parties believe in two different things. I mean, I say it's fine. I wish it were a little less. But they don't even have that anymore. They just completely, you know,
well, I would say
rigged the game in their own favor.
I was saying this the other day, that I don't even like the Democrats, you know. I mean, I think they're doing a lot of, you know, we have to have an opposition party. That's good. That's healthy. But our opposition party isn't doing anything. They're letting him get away with murder. And they could very easily jump in there and say, no, 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 you can't do that, even though we're the minority party and we can't take a vote about these things. You can't build the ballroom. You can't put your name on the Kennedy Center and sue them or do something. But they're not proactive at all. They just go, oh, that's too bad. He's horrible. If we win the midterms, we'll change all that. Yeah, if. Okay.
They're not very good at communicating, with the American people.
They're not very good with communicating with each other.
Right. I think that's their main issue. Trump leaves himself, and really that party leaves itself wide open to obvious issues that I don't think Democrats are able to exploit in the same way Republicans are, because Democrats always seem to pick the fights that, see, they don't understand the people, if you ask me, because the things that they start communicating about and they get their message out about on are always the things where I say, I wouldn't have cared less about that one. I would have focused on something else. Trump says, I don't care about the American people when I think about negotiating with Iran, okay? And then, and I'm not defending him, but then they take him out of context and they harp on that over and over and over again. But that's not, I wouldn't be, you don't need to make your outrage about that. Just keep reminding people. You don't have to play it like that. Just keep communicating that things are not getting cheaper. They're getting more expensive. Just keep, they wander. And then when they go off the path, it's not as if they can quickly realize they did and get back on it. It takes them a very long time, so I don't think I don't really know who runs their messaging and their strategy, but they're just not very in touch with the people. And I don't think they're elitist, but it allows the other party to paint them as if they are, and then paint themselves as if they're the common folk, which today's Republican leadership is anything but common folk. I mean, they are the most wealthy, inside the Beltway, hooked up, insider trading group of people we've ever seen, right?
Well,
they're not common folk.
I want to know with the Republicans, where are those? No Republican president has had every Republican in the Senate and Congress doing whatever he wanted. Sometimes they would vote with the Democrats. But now it's like none of them will. They're afraid to. And they have every reason to, because he's going around making people, basically lose their races because he goes for the other guy. And the Republicans in that area believe in what Trump says, too. So
that's where the two-party system is destroying the country, because you don't have a lot of options outside the two-party system. In many of these states, like the ones we've seen recently, the primaries are not open. They're closed to where only one party, only people that are registered as a member of that party can vote for people and things
wait a minute,
like
hold
that.
On a second. I think we heard Kevin.
Yeah, we did.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you just.
I have no idea what I'm doing here, but it's going through my phone,
And then,
so I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, turn down your microphone if you can.
Jesus. When you have things like that, you end up with the people that are running only really being concerned with addressing what the hardcore people of their own party want to hear, because that's who votes in primaries and things like that, right? And so they end up only talking to 20% of their own party's electorate, which probably equates to 5% of the electorate of their state. So what you end up with is the worst of the worst on both sides. You don't have a lot of people in Congress anymore that are, what I guess what we used to call, moderates, people who you could go to on an issue and they would just tell you what they thought. They wouldn't pull out an index card and say, oh,
Yeah.
let me see what the far wing of my party thinks, and then I'll read you that answer. I
Yeah.
think that's what they do now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
I mean, I would be, I would be what people today, I would be a moderate, right? I mean, I have a lot of liberal tendencies, socially, economically, and things, but there are also things you could come ask me about where I might not completely agree with the Republicans on it, and I might certainly not share like the level of outrage that they have it, like, oh, this is a national emergency or whatever. But if you asked me, I mean, just little things like voter ID or something like that. I'm not going to waste a lot of time.
You know what we're wasting a lot of time on?
I
hate to say this. It's getting to the point where I'm believing it's a problem. And that is the Epstein files. I think America is tired already with that whole story. And I don't think the Democrats, who still make hay out of it, are getting any mileage out of it. Because we still haven't seen the full Epstein files, and if you think he's used the Epstein files as a distraction, the part of the distraction is that they were talking about the Epstein files all the time and not paying attention to what's going on over there.
I said in the beginning, that's why I didn't understand why they cared about it in the way.
Well, I understand why they care about it, but you're not going to get him. You're not going to nail him, okay? So forget it.
That's what I'm saying is. I understand they cared in the sense of there are victims and they want to assist them and all. That's fine. That's the right thing to do. That's fine. But I didn't understand why they made it the main thing, as if this was going to be what brought him down.
Yeah.
And I think we all knew that was true. I mean, I told you before. I believe it as much today as I did the first time I said it. Maybe even more. I'm just telling you, if it came out and they had a videotape of him raping a 16-year-old girl, I told you on day one there would be a lot of concern and outrage and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And by day 5, the Speaker of the House would be telling you that tape was filmed in New York State where the age of consent was 16 and that girl was 15.
Better yet, it's AI.
Years, 10 months,
it's AI.
And 32 days. And I mean, I'm just telling you that at the end of the day, that's what would happen. And by week 2, it would be over with. So what good would it do? I mean, it wouldn't.
Well, I would rather they spend their time right now accusing him of insider trading.
Yeah,
they would have a better chance.
Or lowering gas prices.
Check. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You're good. You got it.
Finally figured it out.
What did it finally turn out to be, by the way?
Well, with this new, just not to interrupt anything, but with this new computer I got, and then reloading Zoom and reloading my microphone and the new camera that I have that takes over every fucking thing. It's got 3 switches in it. Zoom has a switch, and then it went to my phone, and it was becoming the microphone. So it was like 5 switches I had to finally find.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
is it overmodulated or anything?
No,
now?
you're just fine.
No.
You're just fine.
Okay. I'll leave it alone and we'll move on.
Let's get back to our good friend Josh here. Anyway, continue with what you were saying, Josh.
No, I mean, but just that they should, instead of that, I mean, those things could take care of themselves and slowly bleed into the news cycle and just sort of let people absorb them. I don't think you had to hammer it at them, but because it's not real. I mean, honestly, I don't really ever hear anybody talk about it other than the media. Like, people that I hear talking at the shops.
I understand though. I understand though the victim should have some kind of help. And the full file should come out so that everybody knows what went on. Now I don't know if we're going to find Trump in there having sex with any of those women.
Right.
I don't think we're going to find Trump had a lot of dealings with Epstein, but so did. I think Obama, and so did Clinton. I mean, they all had a relationship to him because they needed his help. They needed his money. What were you going to say?
What if they just went into this slush fund and started giving it out to the victims, and everything would go away. And then
Yeah.
fuck those people doing J6.
Well, he can't give away the slush fund now. That came out today.
Why? Because he sued everybody because he doesn't have to disclose his taxes, and neither does anybody on his family.
No, that one gets me too. Let's not even start. Where do you start?
You know, Barron Trump is worth $150 million now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's worth
I wonder how that worked out.
How much is he worth again?
I heard over $150 million now, and he's not even out of college yet. And Eric has doubled and tripled his worth. So has Junior.
And Junior just got married, and his father wouldn't show up to the wedding.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all these things, and people just keep turning their heads.
And the bottom line on everything, and this was the thing I was mentioning last night that bothers me, is that he's not doing anything for the American public. He's too busy fighting wars we don't need. He's too busy building a ballroom, building an arch, putting his name on buildings they shouldn't go on, draining us. He said he drained the swamp, and actually the reflecting pool was kind of a swamp. So he did drain that. Okay.
He just changed the alligators.
Yeah, he just changed the alligators. I mean, it's one thing after another. I mean, and yet he does nothing to attend to the economy, to the gas prices, to a half a dozen other things that Americans are beleaguered by. I mean, I'm older, and I don't know I'm going to live that much longer. I can spend all my money if I want to. I'm not affected by this as much as other people, but I'll tell you when I get affected by it. When I order food, and the bill comes, and it used to be I spent about $175 at Costco. It's now $300.
Yeah.
Come on, it's ridiculous.
Right. I mean, and then that's what I'm saying. I mean, and I don't think that the reflecting pool thing was something that the media or Democrats for sure needed to talk about nearly as much as they did. I don't think it was wise that some company apparently was given a no big contract in a matter of days to do it and all that. I agree.
Well, I think the reflecting pool had problems, and they had drained it to kind of fill up the leaks.
But here's
and so
the thing:
on.
like, I follow the National Park Service very closely.
Mm-hmm.
I told Kevin and Patrick the other day, he just happened to get this on his radar and made a big deal. I'm telling you, that pond is drained every year.
Oh, every year?
Out. They've been doing that for 40 years. But he just happened to drive by or something and see it, or someone put it in his ear or whatever, and then he made it sound like it was a disaster, and it's the first time it's ever been drained, and we're going to paint it. They've always done that. I mean, if you follow National Park Service on Facebook or Twitter or anything of that other, every year they'll put a thing out that says the week of November 15th, we're going to drain the reflecting pool, and they try to time. They don't do it the week of 4th of July because it's a busy week in D.C. and no one wants to see that crap. They do it in December. They do it in January.
They had done it the year that my kid went up to Washington, D.C. when she was in grammar school.
Right.
They had drained it.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they do it every year. They scrape the algae. I mean, did it still need some improvements? I think I've heard that before. Sure, that's fine. And if he wanted to bring that up and get money appropriated, also fine.
Yeah, it's a stagnant pond. It's going to get like that.
But once they drained it, he got the idea to paint it.
Yeah, which was probably not needed.
Well, also it's a color that doesn't reflect.
Right. I mean, once the water and everything gets in there, it's not. I mean, I've seen it. I've been right up to. I mean, so it's like it probably is a waste of money. I mean, the routine maintenance part of it was, again, it's routine. I mean, it's budgeted. I mean, it's appropriated to do it on a schedule. So he didn't do anything, but I guess, my whole point about it is not whether even about the reflecting pond, is just that he, in my opinion, got Democrats to talk about it for 3 days. And I don't really think they needed to talk about it. They should have just drove on by, and just let the media do one little hit that says we're blah, 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 and a no bid contract was given, and just let them absorb it and let it go into their brain and let it just be one more thing they hear about him where they're like, what?
He knows how the business of media works. And
that's all I had to do.
He just uses it all the time.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, that is Bree, and he is always giving us a travel log. Where are you?
I was going to ask if you wanted to talk to, there are some fundraising people here. One of the girls is really cute, and I thought Brian would like to meet her, but he's not here. So
I would. I'm okay. I'm single.
He already walked up the street, and I'm heading in for my meal.
I thought you were in there for your meal.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so but you were in there before.
No, they just opened up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. No, they just opened up, Alex, at 11:30, and it's a mad rush because this place is very popular.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway,
they have a table reserved for you, don't they, Bree?
Yeah, and they already got me. Okay, good. Table T30. Wow.
Jeff, did you want to? Jeff, did you want to?
How's my audio, by the way?
Your audio's fine. Yeah.
Good. Okay. These are my $200.
Okay, Jeff, did you want to say something? And you see, your mic isn't on, so turn your mic on.
The $250 bill that Trump is going to be on.
Oh yeah, well that one I'm looking forward to because
Yeah.
Yes. No. Now, Jeff, your mic isn't on yet. You haven't turned your mic on. Oh, God.
There it is.
Welcome to Alex Bennett's Tech Support.
You're on now.
Go ahead. You're on now.
Sorry, it only takes me 3 times.
It's okay.
Listen, I'm looking to decide what I'm going to have lunch tomorrow. So if you could send us what you're selecting lunch today, then I could work on it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be useful.
It's such a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just, but the question is, Josh, how do we stop this guy? In other words, if you're a Democrat and you're in Congress, what do you do to stop this guy? You can't. I think you can. I think you can. I think you can make his life miserable.
I mean, the Congress is the legislative branch is the obvious check. So they need to gain control of the legislative branch, and they will have their hard check on things as they should. I think that recently, on many issues, the courts have shown reluctance to go along with things that he wanted. So I think those two things combined it won't make him stop being stupid or stop saying stupid things or stop acting, like an idiot, but it will stop a lot of the things from being implemented, and it will stagnate us and nothing will get done. But in many ways, that's okay because the things that he wants to get done, in my opinion and in many other people's, are harmful to the country. But I think the way that they need to do it just needs to be smarter and more subtle.
My question is, who do you think at the White House is actually calling the shots? Is it Trump or is it some third party we don't know about?
That one.
I have no reason
because
to believe
I consider him an idiot, and a ne'er-do-well when it comes to politics. But I don't think he's that good that he can even come up with the stuff he's come up with.
He's a master manipulator, and he does that well.
He used to do it well. I think people are onto the game.
He still does, apparently.
The boy only could cry wolf so many times, and then eventually, people got onto him where they didn't want to listen to him. And I think that's what's happening to him. slowly but surely.
Evidence that
What?
I think the Iran situation is a lot of evidence that he's doing what he wants, because it's the things that are being done there they're not working. I mean, and he's not doing what anyone else would do.
Well, it's because he never had a
what he
plan
wants
to begin with.
Well, right, which is, kind of my point, that it's just, wake up today and do what you think will get you, style points today. But in war, that's not typically a good strategy, okay? Right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a qualified military historian, so I'm pretty sure that I have some authority to say that I don't know that waking up every day and deciding to negotiate the war differently every single day is a good idea.
Bree had his hand up. Bree?
I mean, as I think that Kevin was mentioning, the first time I knew that Trump was a master manipulator actually was written about. Howard Kurtz had a book called Media Circus in 1993. He rewrote it. He did an updated edition called Media Mess in 2018, and he basically spelled out all the tricks that that Trump uses and why it works on the media.
Well, it works on the media because the media are suckers. In other words, if I tune in to MS Now, which is to the left, okay, and I turn on the TV set, any given time during the day to that channel, Trump, 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 Trump. All they talk about is Trump. And that's exactly how he's manipulating them. They're the most manipulated channel out there because they play his... he fiddles and they dance.
Another key is, and this was something that I learned and actually used later in life, it's not what happens so much as how you react to it. So something could be really, really devastating and for you. But if you act that way, then it becomes that way. But if you brush it off and say, oh, but look over here, it's the redirect. And it's that. Could you imagine Richard Nixon, why he had to leave office? It looks so silly now because it would have been so simple for him to stay in office
and for him for him to use the redirection, to get people looking somewhere else, and just saying, I'm going to sit here until it blows over, and it will. Given a certain amount of time, it always blows over. Yes, Alan.
I don't have to listen to the news because when I get on your show and Amy's show, I find all about Trump on your show.
Well, yes, but ours is a skewed perspective.
It is.
It's not like Amy is going to sit there and say something nice about Donald Trump.
No, I don't think any of us would.
Well, my question is, if I were to ask all of you to tell me something good about Donald Trump as president, could you come up with it? Bree, I think, could come up with it.
Oh, yeah, I can come up with many, many. But I think the one that plays well here in our crowd is he has exposed the flaws in our system. And the next person who comes in, they better fix them.
Okay, but is that something good that Donald Trump has done? I mean, that on purpose he has said, I'm going to do this, and
good that he has done. He does have a tendency to. I did think that the White House needed to be refurbished. I don't know to the degree that he's doing it, but sometimes there's things that need to get done, and there's too much red tape, and he's able to cut through that and sort of get things done. And now sometimes that's bad.
Well, so does Xi in China, and it's because a communist country can get things done very fast, okay, much faster than we can here. So, I mean, but just because he can get stuff done doesn't mean what he gets done is good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have something nice they can say about Donald Trump?
Not a thing.
I'll give you one. His whole lightening up on marijuana. I think that.
Yeah, I mean the administration, has some policies that, like I said, as a moderate person, I don't always look at as bad. I'm not against very good border security. I don't have an issue with that. Now, don't get me wrong about it. Should ICE be in the middle of the country shooting people? Hell no, right? And that's where
Well, that has nothing to do
honestly,
with.
I mean,
Yeah.
if the border is nice and secure, the administration has squandered their ability to brag about that because they've let it be overshadowed by their thug squad that's going out there, shooting people who were born here. I mean, over stupidity. So, like, I don't have problems with the good border security. I think that, look, they have made some regulatory changes to the truck driving industry that, as someone who works with and witnesses it every day, I think needed to be made.
I want to know something. Marjorie keeps asking it. Remember the cop, or the ICE guy, the ICE agent, who stuck his gun in a woman's car window and shot her to death? Whatever happened to him?
Nothing.
Is he still on the job? Is he still? Huh?
So what happened is we'll never know. But
moving to St. Louis or someplace.
Yeah, probably.
But he should have been arrested. Okay.
Maybe, but he's not one of the new 4-week and you're an ICE agent guy. He'd been in ICE for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So what we don't know is that state people that have concealed weapon permits, and we don't know if she had one on him and didn't say anything. She turned and she went for her gun. We have no idea. She was trying to get away from them or whatever with her car, and you can dispute that. But she was moving her car after they gave her a lawful order to stop the car and get out. And she decided to go.
They wouldn't have screamed that to the high heavens. She didn't have any gun.
We don't know that, do
we?
Yes, we do.
We know that.
She
didn't have a gun. No way.
Okay, I'm just saying that we won't know why he shot her.
Yes, we will. He shot her because he felt he had the right to, actually.
Okay, well, how about
that's why he shot her.
How about a different deadly weapon, the car? They ordered her to stop the car, and she continued to try and get out.
No, wait a minute. You must have seen a different video than I saw. But what I saw was a woman who was panicked by somebody threatening her and then eventually sticking a gun into the car, and she just completely put the pedal to the metal so she could get out of there and not be hurt. That's defending yourself. That's not using your car as a weapon.
But it may have been interpreted differently, Alex, and we just don't know.
Well, we don't know because they never put the guy on trial. Because they never arrested the guy, and they never put the guy on trial.
That's right. I think that we ought to know why he shot her. I don't think they ever told us why he shot her. Was it using the car as a weapon? Did she have a gun in the car?
If you look at the video, he didn't get hit by that car. It just took off.
He was not even close to getting hit by that car.
I agree with you.
And let me say, okay, if you're saying that maybe she was using the car as a weapon, when you stick a gun in somebody's window, don't they have the right to do anything they can do to prevent themselves from getting hurt? Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they have. It's not a right.
This guy wasn't the local police after all.
She panicked.
Wouldn't you panic? Wouldn't you panic?
Absolutely, but I would just comply. If somebody's pointing a gun at me, I'm going to comply.
Okay.
Right.
How about the other guy? The other guy was helping a woman because she had been thrown to the ground by the ICE agents, and he went and helped her up, and they pushed him against a car or whatever, and finally they pushed him to the ground, and they started kicking him. And I think, did they shoot him or they kick him to death? I think they shot him too.
They shot him like 10 times.
10 times, yeah. And you look at it and you go, this man wasn't even aggressive. He was just trying to help out a fellow person.
That's right. The trouble is that not a lot of, nobody went after ICE. That I think the Democrats should have demanded a reason for why he shot and killed her.
They didn't have to do that. If somebody were doing what was right and not protecting this guy, he would have been arrested, put on charged, and put on trial for murder, and then he would have to defend himself in court. But they never did that.
That's right.
I mean, the administration, ensured that a federal level investigation wasn't done. They interfered openly with the state level investigation.
Yep.
But I mean, all those things aside, the Democratic Party, they can't hold hearings or anything that on it because they don't control the committees and they don't have subpoena power, so they're handicapped in what they can do, which, circles me back to my original point where, the one power that they would have would be to message well enough to ensure themselves to have success to do those things.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're very good at it. Like if I were messaging for the party, Hakeem Jeffries should probably be up there just slipping in, hey, listen, the president of the United States has been to the hospital 3 times in a year, and now the White House will not give you any medical information whatsoever or tell you why. And, look, for our part, as Democrats, our party, we erred in this area recently, okay? We overlooked when we should not. They should confess the sin that everyone already blames them for, right? Okay?
Yeah.
We erred in allowing a president who was declining and having issues. We made a mistake there. We shouldn't have. And I certainly hope that our friends on the Republican side are not now doing the same exact thing.
By the way, did you see...
Because that would not be good for the country. Why don't they just confess the sin they've been blamed for and then ask if they're, instead of being whataboutism and this, that, and the other, just work it in.
No, did you see what Jill Biden wrote about
I
Joe?
saw the interview.
She says that the thing that happened in that debate where he just completely drew a blank was a stroke.
No, she was afraid he was having a stroke.
Oh, she was afraid he was having a stroke? Okay.
Yeah.
They don't know what happened. I mean, she'd never seen it before and all. And that's what I'm saying. The Democrats, everyone, really in America says, well, there were a lot of Democrats who knew that the president was suffering and they didn't say anything. And when people say that, the Democrats tend to get really well, no, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Nope. So what they should do is they should just be like, yeah, we kind of screwed up there, right? Now that we've screwed up and we've learned from that, the people that accused us of it, which, we screwed up, now kind of appear to be doing the same thing because we have a president now who's obviously aging quickly, has visited the hospital 3 times in the past year, is showing some physical and mental signs of some of the same issues, and our friends over there on the Republican side aren't asking the questions that we've learned from experience should be asked. The administration is not releasing any medical information to the public. And we...
Oh, no, they released.
We are saying that why are they repeating our mistake?
But they released medical information, but it was the doctors saying, oh, he's just fine. That was it.
Right, but
he was just fine.
Just today they said they're not going to release the full report that they normally do or whatever. Well, why not? I just read that story a couple hours ago where they said the little statement that you got from the doctor, that little 3 sentences or whatever, that's all you're getting. You're not getting anything else.
Well, the funny part about that is that if you talk about me, I've had cancer twice, right? How many times do you think I've been into the hospital in the last 3 years?
Every other week.
No. Zero. Okay? I mean, I only go when something's really serious.
Yeah. Right.
So
again, it's a fair question to ask why he's doing it so many times. But if the Democrats ask, the Republicans just say, well, that's what you did with Biden. And what I'm saying is they should just say that. They should just cut that off at the pass, right? That's what we did with Biden. It wasn't right. It was stupid. We learned from it. But our opponents over here apparently did not learn from it. So why are they not telling you something? What are they lying to you about? Why did they not learn from our mistake? We openly committed this act of negligence, okay? Which we have addressed and we are sorry for. But why are they not now doing the same thing? They don't learn from their mistakes. Do you want people to run the country who cannot acknowledge their own shortcomings and then try to learn from them? If they were leading your company and they did those things, that's not a person you would want leading your company. Why do you want to put these people in power and the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate? Why do you want them to remain in power in the White House? You shouldn't. You know what? That's the message. But instead, they just kind of, they won't tell us. They shake their head in anger about it or whatever. And then when the Republicans say, "Well, that's what you do with Biden," they just go lay in the corner.
I got a
dog.
great question for everybody here. Do you think there should be age limits on congressmen and senators?
Yes.
What would that age be?
Or term limits.
Well, forget about term limits because you can still be 95 under term limits, okay? I'm talking about an age limit.
Yeah, true.
I'm talking about an age limit.
How about 75?
I mean, you have guys
80?
like Grassley. How old is Grassley? 92, 93? I mean,
92.
and he's running again or something. I don't know. But, you know, how long should they be allowed to remain in office? And I think the cutoff age should be 80.
Yeah, I do too. 75, 80, somewhere around there.
If not 75.
You know, we let Dianne Feinstein stay over.
No, because Alex, you're 80, right?
I'm 86.
And I would vote for you, so...
I wouldn't vote for me.
It depends on
why don't you run, Alex?
My brain is trashed, you know.
I'm 80.
You're 80, yeah.
That's right.
Look at him. He's a healthy 80.
Yeah.
Not really, but
You know, he has his problems, but then again, he had a massive stroke years ago, so he's to be expected, right?
but you wouldn't want me to be president.
No, I know you personally, and I wouldn't want you to be president. I like you a lot, but I
Not for-
wouldn't want you to
not
be
for a
president.
week.
Huh?
Not for just a week.
Yeah. No. And I would never want to be president. You know, I just watched a documentary, very good one. If you get a chance, it's on Netflix, and it's about FDR. And it's really a good documentary because there's a lot of things about FDR I didn't realize, didn't know, and so on. And that is such a difficult job. And he had such a difficult period of time to have that job. He had to overcome the Depression, and then World War II started, you know. And he couldn't exactly quit because, you know, he had to keep doing what he was doing. And I think it killed him. I think it actually killed him. I think he would have lived a lot longer if he only had served 2 terms, didn't have the war come along and suddenly, double up on the
Look
the
what happened to
Depression.
Johnson. Johnson, he got tore up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very, very taxing job. And for anybody to do it, especially the presidency, when they're over 75, is asking a bit much.
He's the most powerful person in the country. I would rather be a U.S. senator who's got almost as much power, and nobody wants to kill you.
Oh, I don't know. What the guy got shot who was a senator, I think, or he's a congressman?
Scalise,
yeah.
Okay, well, the majority of people don't want to shoot.
And I think other senators and congressmen have been hurt. And look what they did to Nancy Pelosi's husband. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't understand in that case why the police, this guy's got a hammer in his hand. He's hitting an old man. They don't know he's Nancy Pelosi's husband, or they do. I don't know. Why they didn't take their gun out and shoot and kill this guy that had the hammer. He was in the process when they stopped him of getting ready to hit him in the head again. Usually most people who get hit in the head a couple times with a hammer die. It's murder.
Okay, so you show up to the scene. You were formerly a policeman, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cop, if you don't mind me using the term.
I don't care what, whatever.
Would you have shot him?
Absolutely.
You would have? Would you have shot to kill?
Absolutely.
Why didn't you shoot him in the leg?
because I don't know.
Hey, that hurts really bad.
It could hurt, but he can still use the hammer.
Yeah.
I want to stop him from using the hammer and attempting to kill somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So would I take an almost, being that close, an almost sure way to stop him? Yes, I would shoot him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
But the brain usually shuts everything off with a high-powered gun.
Let me go over to Bree. Yes, Bree.
That reminds me. That story reminds me of another thing that happened in Dubai. I wanted to ask you if you had met someone, and then a year later you found out they killed their wife with a hammer. Because in Dubai, I met a newspaper editor, and I have a photo with him and everything, and we were at a gala dinner, blah blah. And then a year later, came out in the news that he hit his wife in the head with a hammer.
And
she died. She died. Yeah.
She died. And so what happened to him? They put him in jail?
Last I heard, it was supposed to be 10 years. His lawyer appealed. They gave him 20.
Okay.
Because I imagine by the laws in Dubai probably are that if you appeal it and you lose the appeal, they can say, okay, we're going to put down a new sentence.
Basically, it's the same in Singapore as well. It's basically like you get the sentence you get, and if you don't agree with it.
Wait a minute. You froze. You froze up there. Finish it.
It's gonna get worse for you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But one of my neighbors' wife was sitting down to put her makeup on. This is 10 years ago or so, and the husband asked for a divorce, and she wouldn't go that way. And I don't know all the circumstances. 4 houses away, and he hit her in the head twice with a baseball bat, and killed her. And he went to prison for murder, but it doesn't bring her back, and that's unfortunate. She was a nice lady, and I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. He was talking about Dubai. That in a lot of foreign countries, the sentences aren't as harsh. Because
depending on what you do, if you have sex with a dog, they'll execute you.
No, if you have sex with a dog, you have to send flowers to the dog. That's the law.
A lot of foreign countries, lower crimes will even get you life imprisonment or something like that than the United States.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think sometimes we're a little too harsh with sentences. Okay. There's this girl, they got a documentary about her on Netflix, and it's become all the rage. And she crashed her car because she was mad at her boyfriend or something. There was somebody else in the car, too. Crashed her car into a building and killed both of them. And then she went on trial, and they gave her life. Now, come on, the girl's 18 years old, A life sentence at that age is a little extreme. Now, if I did the same thing, they gave me life, it'd maybe be a 4-year sentence, I mean...
Well, the trick here is life with or without the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
If she purposely ran the car, she was upset with her boyfriend, she purposely ran the car, and she killed 2 people, that's murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was in the car too. She was putting her own life at risk.
She got her sentence for murder. Yeah. She didn't die.
Oh, hey, I just looked. Hear that?
Oh.
That's time to get up and dance.
Everybody dance. Yeah, right. Anyway. Hey, listen, it's been nice tonight. We had a nice little show, Not a lot of people here, but, you'll all miss me when I'm gone.
Absolutely.
Week after next, I'll be gone for 2 weeks, and I'm not going to take care of this place at all, and I'm not going to keep.
But the pop-up will happen on the ship.
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you. But anyway, you'll miss me when I'm gone. So let's start calling this show a little more. Anyway, thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. And Josh, nice having you here tonight and get your aspect on things. You're blurring out on us.
Oh, I can change that, but
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. We're almost off here. And well, he just got rid of. Oh, there he goes. And Kevin, you got it all working now?
Think so.
Yeah.
Find out.
And your microphone sounds great too. Even sounds better than it used to.
Good.
It's the same mic.
And I don't have the tuning when I turn on the camera.
Bree, thank you so very much. And of course, Jeff Stein.
They reduced it to 7 years. He
What?
got out last year.
What?
It went to 20, but he only served 7 years, and they deported him.
Oh, okay. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. There they go. That's our citizen panel. Stay tuned for The Intersection with Amy Manuel. That's next over most of this same GabNet. And we'll then see you on Monday. Oh, and it's Amy, and it's The Intersection, and you can find her, the way to get to her on Zoom by going to gabnet.net, and then third column down, her name is there. Click on that, and it'll take you to her. See you Monday with the Pop-Up Show on Facebook, and then again on Wednesday right here. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, of course, tell her I love her, okay?